You guys, I just can't. I cannot. And I really want to drink this, but it's so hot right now. Let me just try to take a sip. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So good. We'll get into the tea in just a minute. It's May. Oh my goodness. It's freaking May, you guys. We are in the 5th month of the year. Before we know it, we're gonna be in June. And I think a lot of us, at least if you're feeling anything like I am, we are like, you know what? Bye-bye 2020. We are ready for 2021, honey. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for being here. My name is Tika, but I go by Fierceness, and I'm fabulous, as you are. And I love the color pink, and I am just me. So first things first, since I already took a sip of my tea, can we just acknowledge how cute my cup is? Honey, look at my cup. It's so cute. I love that it's like a 2-in-1 almost, because my other mugs were much smaller, but it also says let all that you do be done in love. 1 Corinthians 16 and 14. And it holds a lot of good tea, and it also has that hint of pink. You know, everything has to be pink related for your girl. And I'm drinking yogi tea. So I love yogi tea because number one, it always has some little message in it for you. And today's message is when you become part of the universe becomes part of you. I totally agree with that. That's really just like an alignment thing, a balance thing. I talk about that on my Instagram. I'm just being balanced and all that good stuff. With this big old teacup, I'm feeling like Wendy Williams. Shout out to Wendy. How you doing? I hope she's doing well. No new episodes, but I love me some Wendy. But anyway, so the tea that I've been rocking with you guys for this quarantine, this baby right here. So this is the Echinacea Immune Support, supports immune function. And I've always loved this, but like I got boxes and boxes on deck. But let's talk flight attendant life. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's talk oosey goosey juicy. Ooh. You know, I took a leave of absence from flying. I took a 6-month leave of absence, which is ultimately a 7-month, because initially 1 month was offered, and then they were offered 3, 6, 9, 12, like I told you guys in my last video. I decided on a 6-month leave because why not? You know, all good. But I want to tell you guys something. So a couple of my homeboys and homegirls that are still flying are giving me the tea. And the tea is that people are scrambling for hours. So like basically what that means is, you guys know across the airlines flights are being reduced because of this pandemic that we're in. So let's say you're a flight attendant that's used to flying, I don't know, 150 hours a month. Like even though you may get assigned your schedule that's, let's say 80 hours a month, well, like you go pick up trips. Y'all, there ain't nothing to pick up. Did you hear me? There ain't nothing to pick up. One of my homeboys was like, girl, you know it's real when people are looking to pick up A days. I was like, y'all. Now, there's nothing funny about that at all. But you guys know me. I'm gonna give it to you real. And we're also just gonna, in being real, sometimes when you hear that, you do be like, I made a good decision. I made the right decision. I'm happy that I took a leave of absence because number one, if I would have stuck around, and even though I myself might not need that many hours, then let's say I'm taking from someone who could use that. So a little more tea because you guys love it so much. And I mean, why have hot cocoa when you can have the tea, honey? So airlines, to make customers feel more comfortable flying, they have begun to block off the middle seats. And then also airlines have said, hey, listen, masks are required for everybody, okay? Employees, passengers. How do we feel, family? How do we feel about that? Personally, I'm on board. You know, just looking at the situation, if I were flying, I would obviously have to wear a mask. But I just see that as being so hard for me, like hard to like fly and like breathe, because I have asthma. So already like stuff stacked against me. And I don't know, it's just the thought of it, that's me personally flying. But I do believe that we should be wearing masks, so I'm on board with that. Now, I am in a few flight attendant Facebook groups that just have flight attendants from all the airlines, and somebody posted yesterday that a passenger took, like, I was about to say took his mask off, because he must have took it off after he went through TSA and after he boarded, but on the plane he was not willing to put his mask back on. And the flight attendant was like letting him know, like, sir, you need to put it on. And then the wife was like, here honey, like, to her husband, I have a mask for you. And he was just like, no. Y'all, I said, thank God I am on a personal leave, because are we talking about adults here, or are we talking about unaccompanied minors? Like, don't try your flight attendants. Not today, not tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Just no, don't do that. So we were already living in crazy times, right? And now it's even crazier. And now you have to deal with, you know, just like going into the store and there'll be clear markings on the floor 6 feet apart, and people just want to be mad close to you. Like, when I go out, I have on a mask, I have on glasses, I wear like a hoodie, like I cover my hair, gloves, obviously. Like, I'm out in like a sweatsuit. I don't care, it could be 102 degrees, I'm gonna still have on a sweatsuit. Another thing is too, is like, before you used to be able to like sneeze, cough, or whatever, and it's allergy season on top of that. My allergies are kicking my butt. But like, yo, now you cannot sneeze, you cannot cough, you can't do nothing in public. People gonna look at you like, you okay? So I just think that, like, no matter what, life will never be the same. We are now all going to be adjusting to the new normal. What we thought before was normal is just not that. Like, or do you think that things will go back to how they were before? Comment down below and let me know what you think. I'm really interested to see where people's minds are, what people are thinking. Are you a person who feels like you don't need to wear a mask? Or do you feel like they're just pointless? Do you feel like gloves are pointless? Because I mean, I live in New York, okay? This is like the nitty gritty of it. And I look out my window all the time and I see people who just don't have on nothing. Like, just a regular 60-degree day, just chilling, wind blowing, no mask, no gloves, nothing. It is just beyond me. This attitude, this mindset of thinking that one doesn't need to protect the next person. See, I love my governor, and I haven't always loved him, okay? He stepped up, okay? He's grown, he's a man. So I love that he has said that the mask is to protect the next person. It's not, obviously it's to protect you, but it's a respect thing. It's saying, I respect you enough to cover up anything that I may have going on that I don't know is going on. Because how many people are walking around positive and they are asymptomatic? They're not showing anything, they haven't felt anything. It's crazy. You also have tons of flight attendants that, at least on the Facebook group, they said they were walking around, they didn't feel anything, they just happened to go get a test because they were able to, because of the line of work that they're in, that we're all in, and they found that they were positive. And it's like, yo, like, I didn't know anything. And now there's something that's trickled down to children. It is scary, y'all, super scary. Had to take a break real quick, had a whole sneezing fit. Allergy season is like, knock knock, I'm here. Sorry y'all. Anyway, let's jump back into it. Oh, gosh, can't stand this whole do you have allergies? Like, what do you do? Honestly, what usually helps me is like a Benadryl and a nap. A Benadryl and like a 30-minute nap. And I am working on a new recipe, so I can't take a nap. After I film this, I'm gonna edit real quick, upload, and then I have to work on my recipe. So much for that. Let's just jump back into it. So we're gonna talk about something that people don't want to hear. I myself don't want to hear it. I myself don't want to talk about it, but I have a platform and I've built my platform around certain things. So people do come to expect certain things from me, certain topics addressed, and If you're gonna get it anywhere, you might as well get it here, baby. Let's talk about the potential of your dreams of becoming a flight attendant being delayed by several years. If that were to happen, are you okay with that? Are you still passionate enough about aviation that you're going to keep your faith, hope, strength alive? I think it's important to note that across the airlines, a lot of flight attendants have taken personal leaves, or some airlines have furloughed their flight attendants. And when they furlough a flight attendant, they'll call them back as they need them, and they'll be called back in seniority order. So of course my heart is with those people who were in training and abruptly had to leave, those people who got their training dates and had to leave, especially those people who had already given their employer notice and they were so happy to be going off to training, and then now it's like, you ain't going nowhere. In the event that a furlough does happen, you know, I think about it. I'm in the 18,000s. I think we have like 26,000 or so flight attendants. 8,000 people under me. Unless a whole heaping lot of folks take early retirement, quit, whatever, like I could be facing a furlough. That's my reality. And I think a lot of people need to understand that, like, I'm a person who's already employed as a flight attendant. And we just don't know what the future looks like, y'all. So what made me mention this subject is I got a few of you asking me if you should pay for some sort of flight attendant course or training program or whatever, and I'm like, no. I mean, first of all, anything that you need to learn for that specific airline that will hire you, they're going to teach you. But also, like, we are not in a time where any airline is hiring. Like, there are hiring freezes. So don't go spend your hard-earned coins on any sort of flight attendant trainings, programs, whatever that are out there. Hocus pocus, no. Google some YouTube videos, you'll get the gist of it. Like, don't waste your money. Don't just don't do it. I mean, if you have money to just burn, then I'm gonna give you my Cash App so that you could just send me some money so that I can get me some more robes, because this has been my quarantine attire. But yeah, I mean, just don't do that. But I just want you guys to know, like, you're not alone in how you feel, but keep in mind that, like, I know you guys are flight attendant hopefuls, but there's also flight attendants that are currently employed that may not have a job. And in the event that they do furlough, it's going to go seniority order, and then when the hiring reopens, if you will, or the company decides that they need more flight attendants, they're gonna call back in seniority order. Then they're gonna hit up those people who were in training, then they're gonna hit up those people who had training dates, then they're gonna, you know, hire more people. I think it's safe to say, as our reality is, we don't know what that looks like. We are being hopeful, but you know, when I look at the articles showing the new potential configurations of aircrafts, we're talking about, instead of 3 seats, 2 seats. We think of that in the grand scheme of things. You have less passengers on a 767. You have less passengers on an Airbus. So the flight attendant ratio, FAA says that there's 1 flight attendant per 50 passengers. So on a flight where you may have had 150 people per se and needed 3 flight attendants, you get out those middle seats and they change this whole configuration, and now you only need 2. And that's just something that I've been thinking about. This is not anything that's been put out there, but I'm just thinking, like, unless things drastically change, you know, I think that we just need to pray for those who are working on a cure, who are working on a vaccine for this virus, because we have to lift them up, y'all. We need a cure. Bottom line is that we need some sort of vaccine, you know, just like with the flu, right? They say so many people die from the flu, but there's also the flu shot that people get. We just need something, and we just have to pray for those minds that are working on this, and just give them strength, and ask, you know, God just to keep his hand on them and to guide them, and hopefully something sooner than later, because I you know, a lot of people are just thinking about, oh, I want to travel, I want to take a trip, but like I'm thinking about the kids that like aren't getting to graduate this year, and what is school going to look like in the fall, and colleges, and just I already don't really like to go to restaurants. We will every now and then, but like my thought is, what does a restaurant look like? If we're supposed to wear face masks in public now, what does that look like in the future? Like, you have your mask on until your food comes and you have to quickly eat your food and then put your mask back on. That's so uncomfortable. It's such a domino effect. I don't know. I'm quarantine bae, I'm allergy bae, and I'm worried bae. Like, I'm really worried about this. I think the other thing to note is that we need to accept what we're going through, right? There's phases. I think the first week it was like, ah, we're home. Second one was like, okay, we really home with the fam, movies, whatever. Then it's like, yo, like, I think we need to accept that like any stress and depression that we're feeling from this pandemic is normal. We've never experienced this before. None of us have, so I can't tell you how to cope, but what I can tell you is that what you're feeling is perfectly okay. Like, you know, I try to get up every day and do my makeup or work out. I mean, I do have like at least 1 or 2 days where I make sure that I just let my face be bare and breathe. But like, I haven't worked out in a couple of days, and that's also because my cousin is here. You know, that cousin that visits women every month. Like, I can't stand that cousin, so she here. So you know, I'm just letting my body do its thing and rest and all of that. But like, you know, I have times where I'm like feeling really sad or just feeling down. You know, I'm human, you're human, and I think that it's perfectly okay for us to just share that with each other and just be like, yo, like, this is how I'm feeling. Like, yo, like, I'm stressed. Yo, I got my bills are due, I don't have the money. Like, yo, like I want to get my nails done. I'm tired of doing my pedicure myself. I know it's a first world problem, right? But when you become accustomed to a certain lifestyle for yourself, and you're used to working and you're used to taking care of yourself and just being able to provide for yourself, you don't understand, or you can't really grasp, like, yo, I can't go out of my house. Like, that shit is deep. So I guess what I want you to take away from this video is that it's okay to be human. It's okay to be vulnerable. Everything's not perfect, and that's okay. And as long as you are doing the best that you can with what you got, that's what really matters. So yeah, that's the message. The message is to just keep going and keep pushing. You know, I listened to this sermon yesterday from TD Jakes, and he was just talking about how people have lost so much through this pandemic, and they haven't been able to grieve or cope with what they lost because they're just trying to hold on to what they have. And I was just like, that is such a deep message, and it's so real. You know, this pandemic, I've really just been working on projects that are near and dear to my heart, and you know, I'll be sharing more stuff down the line. Just really focused on just things that make me happy, and I'm happy that the weather is getting a little bit better. We'll be able to get into the backyard, and then we'll open the pool soon. I'll be able to lay out there, duck and dodge a little tan, because you know I like to get a little darker in summer, just a little something. But just, you know, it's just so crazy to think, like, I live here in New York City, and you know, we used to live like in the city. Now we're just outside the city, and we love New York so much that we bought our home here, right? So y'all could probably hear people outside right now. Some girl was like, are you serious? After I said that, yeah girl, I'm serious. We love New York that much. But anyway, keep your head up, stay beautiful. I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'm gonna go because I need to upload, edit, cook, all that stuff. And yeah, so love you guys, stay beautiful, bye.